Hi guys, this is Keshav Malpani. I welcome all of you to yet another session of 12 Minutes to Clack. Today I'm going to discuss an extremely controversial in-news topic that I think a lot of you must have seen or you must have watched in certain news channels as well, which is the debate between freebies and welfare that the political parties seek to provide to people.
That's right, and the Supreme Court will of course resume its hearing into this particular matter with the contention of many parties defending the so-called freebie culture, claiming that this is something that should not be remaining in the domain of the courts. This is purely a legislative and an executive decision. They've also hit out at the comments made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on repeated occasions where he accused other parties of trying to perpetuate what he calls a revdi culture.
So we all know that all the political parties, whenever the elections are going on in the country, they try to provide us some kind of incentives if they come to power. Now, this could be in the form of free electricity, free water supply. This could be in the form of some other food security plans that the government comes up with. So these certain things have been called as freebies that the government gives. And the Supreme Court in this recent order, you could say the recent case that's going on in the Supreme Court called Ashwini Upadhyay versus Union of India, is discussing this particular issue and asking the government as to what can be done with respect to these issues. Because sometimes what is done is this irrational freebies, although they are good for welfare of people, although they are sometimes very important as well. For example, if you talk about a freebie, which is a midday meal program that's been going in all the schools in India, all the government schools in India, where free meal is provided to students who come to school. Now, this was basically to increase enrollment into school, right? Because poor children will come to school on the pretext that they will get free food as well. So this will provide them food security as well as good quality education. So can such things be called a freebie, or is this a welfare motive behind this particular thing that the government is doing? Right. So obviously there are a lot of elections that happens in the country at the state level, at a local level, at national level as well, at like different points of time. And they are quite intense when it comes to it, right? The government would really want to kill anybody to win the election.
गुजरात में पैदा होने वाले हर बच्चे को फ्री और अच्छी शिक्षा की गारंटी है। स्कूल को अगर फीस बढ़ानी है उसको सरकार से परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी और किसी भी स्कूल को नाजायज फीस बढ़ाने की इजाजत नहीं दी जाएगी।
तो ये कुछ ऐसी चीजें होती है जो गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड करती है टू पुट दैट एंटायर वेव इन देयर फेवर। जो पूरा वो वेव चलता है ना कि किसकी तरफ वोट करना चाहिए, टू पुट इट इन देयर फेवर, दैट इज व्हाट द गवर्नमेंट ट्राइज टू डू. So the Supreme Court in this recent judgment called Ashwini Upadhyay versus Union of India have actually appointed an expert committee to actually look into this matter and decide whether these irrational freebies can be allowed to people by these political parties or not. So as I told you that freebies are obviously, you could say, in some ways important, and the government can always justify it saying that this is for the welfare of people. Even if you talk about free electricity, free you could say water supply, a lot of welfare schemes when you provided free housing, or you could say free food as well. कई बार हम बोल सकते हैं कि लोगों के वेलफेयर के लिए, this is to reduce the inequality in the society. However, on the other hand, if you look at it, this also takes away that tax money, the hard-earned money of one sector of the society who has given it to the government for creating good infrastructure which ultimately produce wealth for the country. Because ऐसा माना गया है कि अगर एक कंट्री में अच्छा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होता है, it produces a lot of jobs for that country, and the general the standard of living is really good in that particular country. तो ऐसी बहुत सारी रिपोर्ट से ये भी देखा गया है that whenever the government passes something, or you could say passes an act or a notification comes, when government starts providing something for free, it could be electricity, water, anything, people tend to become lazy and voluntary unemployment increases in the country because people have nothing to work for. As if I am somebody who is working, for example, say for 10,000 or 12,000 rupees a month, and that particular money, half of it, or you could say most of it, I'm using towards my electricity connection or my electricity bill, या फिर water supply bill, या फिर मेरी food grains वगैरह जो है, जो daily जो मेरी family खाएगी, वही अगर सब कुछ फ्री में मिलने लग जाएगा, I will have no incentive to work, right? तो यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है कि this kind of puts your economy on a back track. So this is also counterproductive in that manner. So the government needs to manage as to what a welfare scheme is and what a freebie is. However, as I told you, there is no clear demarcation here, और demarcate करना भी बहुत ज़्यादा difficult है. Because आज अगर मैं किसी को सस्ता food grain provide कर रहा हूँ या फिर मैं free electricity provide कर रहा हूँ, I can call it a subsidy also. तो सब्सिडी का क्या मतलब होता है? सब्सिडी इज फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर पर्पस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, व्हेन यू गेट गैस इन योर हाउस, those are subsidized prices for those gases, right? However, can you call it a freebie?
Free saris, for example, is a freebie. Free education, perhaps not.
Now, these are certain very difficult questions that the Supreme Court has over a period of time encountered, and it has come up with certain judgments also. So one of the most notable judgment in this regard is Subramaniam Balaji versus State of Tamil Nadu in 2013, where the Supreme Court directed the Election Commission to make certain rules wherein the government are not providing irrational, unnecessary freebies, because we need to keep a check on them. अब यहाँ पर the election commission, whenever there is an election conducted, they have a model code of conduct, and that particular model code of conduct is to be followed by all the political parties in the country, right? उस model code of conduct में उन्होंने दो चीजें ऐड की थी, that freebies should not be provided in the sense कि वो constitution को contravene कर दे. It should not contravene the basic principles of the constitution. And the second point was कि जो भी जनरल हमारा इंडिया में लॉ है, या फिर जो you could say sanctity of the Indian election process है, उसको वो कॉन्ट्रावीन नहीं करनी चाहिए, उसके वायलेशन में नहीं होनी चाहिए. नाउ इफ यू लुक एट दीस टू प्रोविजन, दे आर वेरी सब्जेक्टिव एंड वेग. ठीक है, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि एनी फ्रीबी कैन बी जस्टिफाइड दैट इट इज फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर पर्पस और फॉर पर्टिकुलर पब्लिक वेलफेयर पर्पस.
Sewing machines. The state of Tamil Nadu and Bihar, these states have given sewing machines to women. On paper, it is a freebie, yes, but the overall impact can be positive. Women in those states are using these machines to make money, to contribute to the economy and to sustain themselves. We could say the same about bicycles. In some cases, they offer mobility to the people who receive them. You can travel to work or school. They can transport small commodities. It's a win-win for everyone.
With respect to this, we also have an article or a provision in the constitution called the Article 282, which says that if the union government or the state governments want to provide certain grants for public purposes, they can provide these grants. Now we don't know what exactly is a public purpose. Is midday meal that is being provided to people a political move, or is it a public purpose? Is free electricity, you could say bicycles if you clear 10 standard or 12 standard, providing computer sets, right? Providing free electricity and water, different kind of freebies that are being promised to people. So are these freebies actually for the welfare of people and the government is trying to curb the inequalities? Or is it only to attract people to vote for a particular government?
It's a part of our political DNA in India. Every election season, in fact, we are so used to politicians promising these freebies, promising them to the electorate, and we are so used to seeing these promises of freebies garnering votes as well.
Now, this is a debate that has been going on, and a lot of people were quite confused about it. So I thought that I'll make a video and discuss it in quite simple sense. So that's it about it. You will find a lot of articles on this in various newspapers here and there. You can definitely read all of them to get a better perspective. उसके अलावा भी particularly for current affairs, I've been taking a lot of classes on Unacademy. You guys can join my classes there at 5 p.m. and at 9:15 p.m. The 9:15 class is a free of cost class which has been going on for quite some time. We've been discussing two very important topics every day with quiz questions. उसके अलावा at 5 p.m. class also we're covering a lot of backlog, because मुझे पता है कि आप लोगों का backlog has become a major problem. तो मैं काफी सारा backlog भी cover करूंगा along with new topics. You can definitely come to my classes. They're going to be extremely helpful. We were able to crack more than 85% of the questions in CLAT 22. I wish to do same for 23 and for 24 batch as well. So see you guys there. And if you have any opinion about freebies and the welfare scheme, feel free to mention that in the comment box. I'll be very happy to take it from there and answer it for you guys. That's it about the session from my side. If you like my sessions, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon, and don't miss any update from us. Keep liking and keep following us like this. Thank you so much, guys.